Alright, so recently at UFC 311, Arman Tsarukyan pulled out of his fight against Islam Makhachev, which caused him to lose his title shot at lightweight, which I'm not 100% sure if I agree with this decision. Anyway, let me know if you think Arman Tsarukyan should have lost his title shot, and while you're down there, I'd really appreciate if you could like, subscribe. We're so close to 500 subs. I think we're like 9 subs off. Anyway, let me get into it, because a lot of people were saying after Arman Tsarukyan pulled out that he should lose his title shot, because that's what happened to Charles Oliveira. Okay, but with Charles Oliveira, I think that situation was slightly different, because Charles Oliveira wasn't exactly the most deserving contender in that second fight against Islam Makhachev, because he had KO'd Beneil Dariush, which, you know, that's not exactly a crazy win. Okay, I know it's Charles Oliveira, but KOing Beneil Dariush isn't like this, oh my god bro, he needs to get this title shot immediately. Like, it really wasn't that crazy win. And on top of that, there was a lot of other contenders in the division. Okay, there was Justin Gaethje, there was Arman Tsarukyan coming up, and on top of that, he'd already been subbed by Islam Makhachev, so it just would have been a rematch like pretty soon as well, because with Arman Tsarukyan and Islam Makhachev, that fight happened ages ago. With this fight, it happened very recently, so you know, that rematch wasn't like, it didn't need to happen, okay, but Charles Oliveira just happened to be the next contender in line. But I think the situation is very different here with Arman Tsarukyan. I mean, Arman Tsarukyan is a very deserving contender, okay, there's a whole storyline with Islam Makhachev as well, and Arman Tsarukyan is a very deserving contender, okay, he's on a very long win streak, he beat Beneil Dariush by KO, and on top of that, most importantly, he beat Charles Oliveira, okay, which was very exciting because no one had broken to that top 5 for a very long time, okay. Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, Charles Oliveira, you know, they weren't really getting beat, okay. I know Islam Makhachev went through, but apart from that, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, Charles Oliveira, they were just the top 3 contenders, so it was very exciting to finally get a new face in Arman Tsarukyan, and now he's kind of just lost that for pulling out one day before the fight. And another thing that I think is very important is that there's not really any other contenders. With Charles Oliveira, there was Justin Gaethje, there was Arman Tsarukyan. Now there's really like no one, okay? There is Charles Oliveira, obviously he should get his title shot, but the thing is, like, he beat Michael Chandler. Like, you can't really say that Michael Chandler is this crazy win. Like, even with the pull out, I still think that Arman Tsarukyan is probably a more deserving contender than Charles Oliveira, you know? So when Dana White announced that Arman Tsarukyan would not be getting his title shot, I was really confused, because in my opinion, I do not think he deserved to lose at all. I understand that Charles Oliveira lost his, but I think the situation is like completely different, okay? Arman Tsarukyan is a way more like deserving contender than Charles Oliveira was at the time. But this situation with Arman Tsarukyan seems a lot more strange and complex than you might actually think, okay? I suggest watching ITP MMA's video about it, because I think he goes into it pretty well. But if you take the situation at face value, it really doesn't seem like Arman Tsarukyan deserved to lose his title shot at all. I mean, look, he hurt his back one day before the fight. He's the most deserving contender. There's really not anyone else. I don't understand why you take that shot away from Arman Tsarukyan, but Dana White seemed really angry at Arman Tsarukyan for some reason, which makes the situation seem much more complex than you might actually think. The first thing that set off in my mind was when Moicano said in an interview that, I think it was Hunter who called him and said that one of the fighters in the championship fight might not make weight, so make sure you're in the championship weight, which I thought was pretty weird. Why wouldn't they just tell Moicano one of the fighters might be injured, you know? I feel like that makes more sense. Obviously, Arman's back injury did lead him to like struggle with weight cutting, but I think the weirdest part is when Dana White talks about Arman Tsarukyan, because this is just very weird from what he was saying, okay? Because if you watch the clip, this guy seemed really angry at Arman, okay? And I know that's like, he's kind of angry at everyone, to be honest, but like, with Arman, he like seemed to hate him. And the thing is, if you look at Arman, it's like, he hurt his back one day before the title fight that he's been waiting for ages, you know? You'd probably feel bad for him, right? But for some reason, Dana White seems like genuinely like pissed at Arman. And then he says, Arman Tsarukyan is probably going to be out for the year, which this doesn't really make sense, because with the back injury that he supposedly has, like, I don't think he would be out for a whole year considering the fight is in January, you know what I mean? So him being out for a year is very strange for Dana to say. Maybe he just misspoke, you know, that could happen, but it really seems unlikely, to be honest. And on top of that, the weirdest part about this all is Arman Tsarukyan seemed to be like completely fine with this. This guy did not like oppose the decision or was like, oh my god, I just lost my title shot over this is so stupid. He seemed like completely fine with it. He was calling out contenders the moment, like, I swear, this guy got injured immediately and was calling out everybody. This guy's calling out Michael Chandler, you know. I really, like, I don't get that at all. Like, surely if I was in Arman Tsarukyan's position, you would be pretty mad if you just lost your title shot like that. But he's fine. He's like completely fine. He's like completely understanding. And it kind of like begs the question, what did Arman Tsarukyan do to like deserve this kind of treatment? You know what I mean? On top of that, every single person seems to have like conflicting stories on the situation. I really haven't seen one like consistent thing that people have been saying. You know, his coach is saying one thing, there's other people saying other things. It's kind of confusing, and you know, it kind of seems like maybe the back wasn't the issue. Okay, I know this is kind of like a conspiracy theory, but like maybe he didn't actually hurt his back. Maybe he I don't know, missed weight, maybe got popped for something. Like, it's really unclear what actually happened with Arman Tsarukyan here, that he'd be, pushed out for a year. Every story is, like, kind of confusing. Dana seems to absolutely hate him, which is really strange considering Arman Tsarukyan versus Islam Makhachev 2 was like a huge fight. This was a huge fight, and I'm pretty sure it sold very, very well. Yet for some reason, Dana White hates him and does not want to do this fight, So to answer the question, did Arman Tsarukyan deserve to lose his title shot? I don't really know, okay? Because if you take it at face value, I really don't think he deserved to lose at all. Like, if his back really hurt, and all of that actually happened, I don't think Arman Tsarukyan deserved to lose it. This is not anything like the Charles Oliveira situation. But if this story actually does have more than it seems to, I really think that Arman Tsarukyan may have actually, like, messed up really bad, okay? Because if he really, really, like, got popped for something, or maybe he actually didn't just hurt his back, or he missed weight, I think he absolutely deserved to lose it, but I have no clue. I have no clue what happened behind the scenes. So the answer to this is kind of like unclear, but I want to talk about one other thing. Islam Makhachev said that he wanted to fight Justin Gaethje, and the reaction to this has been like actually insane. Like, I don't know if people are just brain dead or what, but like I have no idea how you can react this way, okay? I've seen people saying that Islam Makhachev is ducking Arman Tsarukyan and Charles Oliveira. This actually makes no sense considering Charles Oliveira and Arman Tsarukyan were the two guys who pulled out of their fights, okay? Like, they were scheduled to fight, and those guys pulled out. So why would he be ducking Arman Tsarukyan, a guy he already beat and was about to fight, and then Charles Oliveira, a guy he beat very recently? Bro, when people say that Islam Makhachev is ducking Charles, this makes no sense to me, because they only fought, like, a couple years ago. This wasn't even, like, oh my god, bro, he fought him when he debuted. Nah, bro, this was like, this was only like 4 fights ago, bro. This was really not that long ago. So why would he be ducking Charles Oliveira? That makes absolutely no sense. It's not like Charles Oliveira went out there and just finished Michael Chandler in the first round. I really don't understand that at all. But then I saw some people saying he was ducking Topuria. This makes even less sense, bro. People are constantly complaining that Islam Makhachev will never fight a featherweight. Okay, bro, this guy's entire career has been featherweight. Okay, Charles Oliveira featherweight, Volkanovski featherweight, Dustin Poirier featherweight, Dan Hooker featherweight, Moicano featherweight. It's like, bro, like Islam Makhachev really cannot catch a break. Like, I don't understand this at all, because if he beats Ilia Topuria, people are just gonna say, oh my god, he's beat more featherweights. Like, oh my god, that's so crazy, bro. Islam Makhachev literally only has to beat Arman Tsarukyan, then finally he can move up to welterweight if he wants, which I don't know if that fight will happen, because Belal, it really seems like that's not going to happen, because it seems like Belal doesn't want to fight him, Shavkat doesn't want to fight him, and I don't know if that's because they're scared or they really just do have a good relationship, because I know Belal and Islam do have a good relationship, but bro, Shavkat and Islam, when was the last time those guys probably even talked, bro? Like, where is that even coming from? I have genuinely no idea, but, Islam Makhachev, hopefully he fights, I think if that all goes to plan, like, he goes and fights Charles Oliveira in, like, June. I think he said he wanted to. If he wants to fight in June, it's probably going to be Charles Oliveira. Then it's probably going to be Justin Gaethje if he beats Dan Hooker, and they're going to do that in, like, October in Abu Dhabi. Whoever wins that, Dan Hooker or Justin Gaethje, which is a pretty great fight. And, yeah, I don't understand that at all. But, yeah, that's going to be it. Hopefully you guys enjoy that video. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. All right.